Greetings, mortals, and welcome back to the arena. This isn't the arena. What the hell is this place?
So, welcome back to whatever the hell I'm in. The Abyss. Abyss. I knew it was some A word. Okay, so, we have just found out some interesting information, and by just found out I mean hours ago, but I wasn't online at the time, so just found out that, this boss doesn't have anything meaningful to steal. The Leviathan that I stole earlier was the rarest steal that it has, which is just some stupid fish, I don't give a crap. And so that means that we only have to worry about whether we can survive the fight. So we have about 50,000 HP to burn through, and that's... a lot of HP, actually. That is a huge amount of HP to burn through. But we will work at it, and I think that this is going to be interesting because this might actually be a situation where I have to figure out... I have to figure out whether I can burn through that much HP with the resources that I have. Oh shit. Did I save between those two fights? Or not. So I was planning on getting a couple more levels, but I'm not actually sure. I might actually need more, because I might need to have more damage in order to be able to handle this boss. I'm not really sure, but we'll find out. So what equipment does he have? He has the bullseye ring and the XP ring, which together make... No, not the XP ring. The bubble ring he's going to have. So those are both required gear for this. I'm not going to be able to have him survive if he doesn't have the bubble ring, and there's nothing that's going to do more damage than the other ring. So with that said, I need to figure out how I'm going to handle this, because that's a lot of HP to burn through. So if I make the assumption that I'm hitting him for... Shit. He got a crit. If I make the assumption that I'm hitting him for about 2,000 damage per round, that means that I'm going to need about 25 rounds to kill him. And 25 rounds is way longer than any fight that I've fought thus far. That's a super, super long fight. So, like, at that point, I have to take serious advantage of the fact that my Grey Mage has unlimited mana. But that means that, like, for instance, I can't buff physical defense at all. I can't rely on anything that... So, well, there's some good news. There's also some very, very unsettling news. The news that, this is going to be... tougher fight than I would have anticipated. Just because of the difference between... So, like, when I think of the, like, the difficulty that I'm having in, like, surviving, that difficulty is marginal, right? But at the same time, the difficulty in killing is much more significant because I don't have buffs and things like that to sort of get me through it. I don't have excuse me. I don't have access to things like Powerhouse to get me through the fight. So what that means is that I have to seriously consider how many levels I'm willing to get before I can go in there. And I also need to think about how much I gain. What? Whatever, I don't care. Got him. Like, how much mana? Let's see. Well, I'm definitely glad that I'm putting all these levels into my monk, because I might have to end up devoting a considerable English amount of attack power to him. So if I were to assume that I have about 400 damage per round, sorry, not 400 per hit, with my current monk's setup, he's got 5 hits. His crit chance is not super high. Then, shit. He's got 5 attacks, so any given. So we know it doesn't matter. I don't even need to calculate how much damage I'm doing. What I need to do know is that based off of what I was thinking, I have 20 rounds that I'm working with. So to get it down to 19 rounds, I would need a specific amount of extra damage. So, and that is 5% of the damage that I'm doing right now. Probably. I kind of just threw that number out there and it sounds right, but I'm not sure that's actually the number that I'm looking for. But let's say for the sake of argument that that is the number that I'm looking for. What would that imply? So I'm gonna go ahead and smite. I failed. Okay, there are weaker enemies than this that I could be. If I'm gonna try to regen some mana because my mana keeps getting uncomfortably low, then the best way to do it is on the Revenant things. What was I saying? Oh, so if I were to put 10 points into attack power, that's going to increase the damage that I do by 10%. Basically. If I do a 10% increase to my damage output, that's going to drop the number of turns it takes by 2? No. No, that math definitely doesn't work out. So if I increase my damage by 10%, then I definitely will drop it by at least 1 round, because I'll be doing 10% more damage, so yeah. So it would take 19 rounds. But it would almost take 18. So if I increase it by slightly more than that, then I'm down to 18. So that's definitely worth it. That cuts probably more than a round off. So if I do a level into attack power, that's going to basically cut the amount of damage. Or sorry, cut the amount of rounds by a substantial margin. So we're going to go ahead and guard. We're going to smite to try and get this guy under control, and then we're going to guard and guard. The hope is just that we crowd control him, and we do. And then we're just going to guard. And we're just going to keep doing this until he dies. Look at all that mana. So, I wanted to cut that short just so that I could save. If I see another group, then I'm going to do the same damn thing again because I want my mana back. I've used way too much mana. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it all right now. I don't know what's going on. I just went and got dinner, and I don't know where my wife is. So, she hasn't called me from work yet. Ooh, that's a good amount of damage. I am made uncomfortable by the fact that a crit on the thief will kill him, so we've hit level 40 on the monk. We can go ahead and, let's see, yeah, we can increase his attack power by 8 levels. Sorry, by 11 points if we want, but we won't be increasing his HP if we do that. So, now there will presumably be some damage coming in from other sources. It's not just the monk, but it's basically just the monk. The other party members have other shit that they're going to be doing. They're very rarely going to be attacking, because most of the time they're going to have to be guarding in order to survive. Okay, we need to reload. Dem crits. So, I think that I'm going to have to get myself able to survive comfortably here, honestly. If I can't survive comfortably on floor 48, I suspect that I'm not going to be able to kill the boss. This boss is very much an endurance test with this kind of a party. And if I had the ability to apply sort of permanent debuffs to him, like I can with my other party, I have access to all those delightful, delightful spells. Or not spells, those delightful weapons that just cripple the enemy, then I'd be able to easily do this. I mean, if I dropped his int, oh man. He has really low int. I find it really funny, but his int is actually like 100. So he's like 100 int creature using like the most powerful spells in the game. Just goes to show you how powerful those spells are. He can't be only 100 int. He's got 200 int. Oh, he's got 200 int. That's why. That's why I'm able to come so close to zeroing him out, because I have almost 300. So that changes... Okay, so there we go. So we got 81 on him. So basically, he's taking... Okay, so now... Now you're thinking with portals. No portals involved. Okay. Let's try to get... And that's assuming that he doesn't get... I don't get hit with the sweet breath at any point. Yeah, I've got to be way stronger than I am right now to handle this guy. And if someone has a strat that works for this boss, like earlier, like a stat building strategy that works earlier than this, I would love to know it, because this is a lot of grinding to be doing. So we've almost got our next level on the Grey Mage, which is very good. The next level on the Grey Mage is going to be a really potent one, because at his next level, he's going to, I think, negate the damage coming in from the Revenants. Not quite. I think they hit for 40. They hit for 20 when he guards, yeah. So he needs another 20 points of defense to do that. But while he won't negate their damage, he will draw their damage from quite meaningful values to pretty much meaningless values. If they're hitting him for 20 damage per hit, they're not putting him into threat range from the other enemies, which will also be hitting for 20 less damage. But 20 less damage is much less of a big deal when the enemy's hitting for, you know, 100 something than it is when they're hitting for 40. Okay, so... You are all stunned. That thing is almost dead. I can probably kill it with the other people. Haha! They tried to bait me into using the thief, but I knew better. I knew the consequences of that would be dire. Okay, so we've leveled up on those two. So we can go ahead and level up the knight some more. We're going to pump his... Honestly, his magic defense doesn't cost very much to increase. I can do this by either... This is like 10 points of magic defense is dropping the damage from... Let's just pretend that we're looking at it in percentile. Oh my god, I didn't level him up last time. I didn't spend his points. That actually changes everything. So we're going to ignore his magic defense because he doesn't need to increase that at all. I'm wondering whether he wants to increase his HP, and maybe he does, but now's not the time for that. So he's going to pump his defense. His defense is now 454. And we're going to pump his HP now. And unfortunately, the HP now costs a little bit more as well. But his costs are escalating quite quickly for his defense levels. And unfortunately, we do have the weakest link who just gets plastered into the ground if he gets attacked. Okay, just making sure that I'd actually spent the points. I wouldn't want to go another level without recognizing that I had unspent points. So he should be close to negating the damage output from these guys now. I'd say it's 12 damage. Not too shabby. So with them dealing 12 damage now, he's cut 30 damage from all sources off. If I were to increase his defense by 10%, what would be the consequences of that? So that's an extra 5. So we're assuming we're increasing it by about 70. So he's got about 500 then. I don't think he has enough effective HP to survive an attack from the final boss. He could if he was guarding. If he was guarding, he could survive an attack from the final boss, but that's not the point. They're not the final boss. It's, in a way, it's the final boss, honestly, because one thing that I didn't think through very clearly when I was deciding to do this is I got to the class change and was like, okay, great, and now I'm ready to, you know, bring the full brunt of this party's power against my enemies. And that's all well and good, but then I immediately brought them here. And so, in addition to having gotten the class change, which completely changes the nature of the game, having access to the priority attack and all the other shit that goes along with the class change is just a real game changer, right? So, all of that is then paired on top of, I now have access to the rainbow armor, and the rainbow robe, and an amaranthine ring, and, like, my characters are gonna go from having been, honestly, having a difficult time with the content that they were dealing with, to obliterating everything in the game. And I think it's just going to be really funny going back to them, because you can imagine if I was doing the kind of damage on those characters that I am on these characters. Sorry, you can imagine if I had this amount of durability on my tanks, and had the same amount of damage that I have with that damn monk, who, Sordrell out there is critting things for 1200 damage left and right. I think those might be normal hits. I think those are crits, though. I don't even remember. But I think he's critting for 1200 damage, and just going batshit crazy on things with something like 6 or 7 attacks per round, and just generally being a madman. And in here, I'm not dealing a lot of damage. I'm hitting, I'm not really critting very much, and let's go ahead and secure 3 on him. Anyway, so the basic gist is that this is going to be, like, all of the hunts are going to be incredibly easy. everything is just going to be super easy when I get out of here. The only thing that's going to be tough, and even then, I suspect that the fight against the super bosses is actually going to be way easier than I remember it being. I remember Kali being really hard. By the time I get to Kali, I'm going to have so many Amaranthine Rings. I'm going to be swimming in Amaranthine Rings. The first time I fought Kali, I had 1. I'm going to have, I think, 3? I think I have access to 3 Amaranthine Rings? Before I fight Kali? I think there's 2 of them that I can steal. Though I could be wrong on that. There might only be 1 that I can steal. No, it doesn't matter whether I can steal 1. There's at least 3 of them, because I have 1 that I'm getting from here, and then I have 1 that I'm going to be able to steal, at least, and then I have another 1 that I'm going to be getting from the puzzles. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that I had 1, because I didn't do the... I was going to save immediately after reloading my game. That's smart. Let's see. Ooh. That's just about hooked. I wonder if these guys have a special ability that automatically makes them break free on the first round. I think they do. Because that's 5 in a row, and there's only like a 30% chance or something like that. So that's 3,500 EXP for him. So anyway, these Amaranthine Rings are going to be a real game changer, because when I first did Kali, those Amaranthine Rings are like plus 100 all your stats. So as soon as I get the first one, you shove that on a monk, and it's just like DPS for days. It's 2 extra attacks and plus 100 to your damage. Or plus 100. It gives you an additional 400 damage per attack, which is a lot of freaking damage to have just tacked on top of whatever you were doing already. So, and that's per ring. So if I dumped 2 of them on the same target, because why the hell not, all of a sudden he's got some ungodly amount of magic defense. He's got... Oh. You know, I was a little sad because I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be way too easy now. But now I'm all happy again because I'm thinking about how overpowered it is, and it's like, ooh, it's so delicious. Let's face it, I like being OP. I spend so much time, like, struggling that it's nice to occasionally be the ultimate cosmic power. But yeah, I think this party will have a much easier time with Kali than the previous party did. The previous party really had to work for it. This party, I think I'll be able to use relatively standard tactics. Which also kind of explains how people are able to do Legendary. I mean, part of it is the use of consumables, because those consumables are actually really good. The Leviathans, if you can just use one of those every round, that Leviathan is worth 100% mana and 100% HP. It's just like, to the whole party, everybody gets completely restored. That's crazy good. So if you're using items like that, then sure, I mean, it's easy to... It's hard to find... It's hard to design content that you can't use consumables to just get through. And that's one of the major reasons that I don't allow consumables when I'm doing these kinds of games, is in this game, fishing is super, super OP. You do a little bit of fishing, man, and it's like... Oh. So between that and the tonics, right, like, I should check my inventory and check what tonics I've been stealing from these assholes, because I've got all sorts of tonics in my inventory right now. I don't actually know what any of them do, because I haven't bothered looking up tonics to see what their stats are, because why would I? I'm not ever going to use them. So I'll take a look now just to see what I'm missing out on, because I think I'm missing out on something like, you know, ooh, well, this gives plus 30% damage to your entire party, and stuff like that. Because I'm pretty sure there's one that gives you double HP. Like one that basically replicates what the white mage would be doing. Here, I'm going to take a look. Yeah, save. Okay, so. This is perfect bait. Available to catch the giants of the sea. Arr. The giants of the sea there be. Oh, combat, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so. This is HP plus 100%. Yeah, the Hyper Blitz tonic is boost attack 30 and 10% attack. So, if you wanted, on the first turn of combat, you could use a Hyper Bubble tonic. Then you could use, like, a Hyper Wall and whatever the magic version is of that. Though, I guess you couldn't for this fight. But for this guy, I could use this. I could use this. That would be useless. I'd use this to blitz through the fight dramatically faster. And then just start using consumables to just heal myself anytime I start running low on mana, and then start reviving people when they die. Oh my god. I'm so glad I'm not allowing myself to use any of those things, because that would be super OP and not in a good way. So, here's the question. 50 points of accuracy can't possibly be worth it. Okay. Question answered. His accuracy is way too high right now for it to be worth putting more points into. I'm going to go ahead and put a couple points into his HP, and we are going to dump a shit ton of points into his attack. He's now got 183 attack. I think my goal for his attack value is going to be to get his attack all the way up to 200. Once his attack is 200, he's going to be hitting for 800 per swing, minus, obviously, their defense. Well, actually, minus double their defense, if we want to be clear about the mechanisms involved. Let's see. Okay, I do not heal for as much as I thought. I thought Cure 1 healed for about 50, it does not heal for anything like that. Okay, so... It's so nice having my knight just comfortably sitting on his HP, regenerating so much fucking HP back that he cannot be stopped. I love it. I'm gonna use a Warcry. Double stun. The fact that he's defending is not going to save him if he gets hit. Okay, let's go ahead and... I'm just going to cast a Cure 3, because that way I don't have to do it outside of combat. Okay, Thief levels up, and now that I know I don't have to actually put points into that, I'm going to... His magic defense is pretty close to the maximum, but I know the exact stat that I need to completely negate the damage from his nuke. So if I want to completely negate the damage from his nuke, because I know his int is now... I now know his int is 200, I need exactly 291. I calculated this earlier. For the most powerful nuke in the game, you need to have 91 defense higher than they have magic power. So right now, if he uses an implosion on that thief, he's gonna hit the thief for an absolutely beautiful amount of damage. Let's see, it's gonna be what, 66 damage? Oh yeah, that's what I like to hear. Okay, so he's gonna hit my thief for 66 if he hits him. And that's an amount of damage that I can live with. I don't need to buff the thief's magic defense in that case. Which is also useful. And do they all have it removed already? No. Let's see. So I do not have access to what I would need. Negate his physical damage. So I think his physical damage, I think he has like 400 physical attack, is it? Yeah, his physical attack is 400. So if I want to get the damage that he's doing under 100 points, that means that I need to have at least 775 defense. Considerable. Now, if I wanted to do that, with the assumption that his damage is being dropped by 25, or is it 25%? No, it's only 20%, because I have a 10 and a 10. And that's how math works. 10 plus 10 is 20 now. So if we assume that it's a 20% reduction, and I don't know if it stacks additively or multiplicatively. If it's multiplicatively, it's a little less than that. So let's assume that we have a 20% reduction just because it's a way easier number than to go, well, let's assume that I have a 19% damage reduction. Fuck that. That doesn't round easily. So instead, we're going to go with the cleaner number. So let's see. If we have a 20% damage reduction, that means that he's getting 80 of his attack. Well, he's getting 80 of the defense that I need. Oh, taken off. So let's see. Because it's just a percentage, so the ratio remains the same. So let's see. That means that instead of needing a total of 800. Need 800 minus 80 minus 25. So that would mean I would need to have 695 defense if I wanted to get hit for under 100 damage while he's debuffed. So, let's take a look. What do we have right now? We have 528. That's lower than I'd like it to be, I'm not gonna lie. But we do have buffs that we can use to help us there. So if we increase his defense by an additional 10% plus 30, that's going to put him... I didn't actually check what the 10s digit was because I'm an idiot. I think he's at 540 something. So if that's the case, then he's going to have something over 600. What was the amount that I needed again? 695? We're not getting his damage output under 100 damage. We're not. That's not going to happen. He's hitting way too hard for that. With the debuffs that I have at my disposal, I guess I can double up on defensive stance plus the other defensive buff. If I have both of those active, because that's 15%, another 5% is another 25 or so. That's still not getting me anywhere near where I need to be. And that's on the character that has the rainbow fucking gear. What the hell? It's actually really funny because you can tell that there's a lot of people who are not playing it on legendary mode and commenting on difficulty because, like, I've heard many people indicate that the difficult part of this dungeon is not the boss at the end, it's getting through the actual dungeon. And I'm like, okay, well, the Jabberwockies are a little annoying to deal with, but they're not that big a deal. And now I'm trying to think about, like, getting through this final boss. And I'm like, this is a lot. This is very high stats. Basically, the key is that when you think about gear has less of an impact on higher difficulties, right? Because of the very nature of the way that it works. So on lower difficulties, you can get by with just gear. Like, just your gear will carry you through the whole game, right? There's a lot of people who I have seen indicate on the forums that they've gotten through the entire game without ever putting a single point into their defense stats. And that's crazy. That's absolutely ludicrous, because you've seen the amount of damage that my low defense characters take. We're talking, like, taking 1,600 damage from a goddamn alligator. Like, bullshittery like that. Okay, that might be a slight exaggeration. But I have been hit for, you know, well over 1,000 damage before by random enemies just on the street, not bosses. And that's an amount of HP that you're not going to get naturally, right? Like, that's not a reasonable amount of HP for you to have. I mean, it's reasonable for you to have about that much, but if you're getting one-shot by random encounters, it doesn't matter if you have 800 HP or 1,600 if you get hit for 1,700 damage. So, it's really interesting to think of just the way that the stat changes work, because, like, when you go from an enemy having, like, what's his stat? Okay, so when you go from an enemy having 200 attack power to having 400, you're doing a few interesting things there. The first thing is that you're saying, oh, well, you know all those characters that you have that have, like, hundreds and hundreds of defense on them? That's no longer enough. And the reason is very simple. So, the rainbow armor gives, I believe, 150 defense. So that 150 defense would take, assuming that that's all you have, it takes down the damage that the enemies has from, let's see, on normal difficulty, he has a net attack power of what? That's not what it is, is it? Sorry, my brain just broke. Okay, so he has a net attack power basically of 125. Sorry, I had to figure out how the conversion goes because I'm basically just bullshitting as I go. So he has basically an attack power of that. So without any points and without any other equipment, just running in naked with just that piece of equipment, he's doing 400... No, sorry, he's doing exactly 500 damage. So he does exactly 500 damage. That 500 has to be then mitigated by other means. He starts out doing 800. That doesn't make any sense. I did the math wrong there somewhere. I'm taking 200 off, so that he's doing 600 damage now. God damn it. Just that one piece of gear does much more than it actually does. No. That one piece of gear takes him from 800 to 600. So let's take a look here. We've got the Healing Helm. The Healing Helm is worth... What is that? 70... That's 75 defense. So if we've got the 75 plus the... Oh, it's because it's 150. I then transitioned it in my head to 100. So 150 plus 75. So you've got 225 defense from those two pieces of gear right there. Okay? So those two pieces of gear are going to take him down by 450 damage. He's got a base damage of 800. Sorry, I did the calculations in a really weird way that I shouldn't have, but I'm doing it all in my head, and I hate doing math in my head. I do it all on paper. Actually, I do it in Notepad, but that's beside the point. Let's see. So he's going to be doing 350 damage just after mitigating those two pieces of gear. Those two pieces of gear on their own are mitigating over half the damage that he's doing in his attacks. And then in order to make up the difference, you then need to just sort of like, okay, well, I'm wearing, sure, dragon boots. Why not? So there's another... What? So that's another 52 damage gone. So now he's below 300 damage just from this piece of gear. Okay, you got this other one. Perfect, that's another 19. So that's another 38 damage down the drain. Right, he's down substantially below 300. Oh, you have a shield. Great. That shield gives you 38 defense. So that 38 defense puts him down by another 70. He's now under 200 damage dealt in his swings just from this equipment. So just from this equipment that he's wearing, on normal difficulty, he's hitting for under 200. And so it's easy to think, okay, he's got double stats. So now that he has double stats, how hard is he hitting, right? He's going to hit twice as hard, right? No, he's not hitting twice as hard. Remember that original 800? We're adding that on top. So he goes from doing, like, under 200 just from gear to doing just under 1,000 just from gear. And the rest of it now needs to be done with buffs. It has to be done with debuffs. It has to be done with base stats. So that gives you an idea when people think about the difficulty of Legendary versus the normal difficulty. You have to realize that doubling the stats does a lot more than doubling damage output. So, so anyway, you could give yourself just a bunch of HP, right? And I don't know how well that would work. I don't think it would work very well, honestly. I don't buy that approach. Let me think. I guess, I mean, the knight, you could stack boatloads of HP on that knight. And I don't actually know whether that HP would save the knight or not. So let's assume that I stopped putting points into my defenses right now and started just stockpiling hit points. If I went 10 levels I can assume... Well, I guess the cost would increase every level. But if we made the weird assumption that I'm going to be able to put 20 points in each time, 20 points of HP that's 400 each level. So I'd be able to add, I guess I'd be able to add like 4,000 to his max HP if I did that. I mean, he'd be able to tank a fuck ton if I did that. But then again, if I added 10 levels to his defense, I think he wouldn't be hittable by the enemy at that point. So there's that to take into consideration as well. If we're dealing with more normal numbers, like if I spent 2 or 3 levels on his defense, he's then, or sorry, on his HP, then he's looking at a comfortable 2,000. That might actually be worth looking into for this battle. The problem is that because it's a long, extended fight, I have my doubts about how well that would work as the fight progresses. That said, I do think that it's something that I should look into on the Grey Mage. My Grey Mage is really squishy. He doesn't have enough HP. I think I need to start... I say he's really squishy right as he just gets punched in the face and killed. But that was because I didn't heal him, because I'm a dummy. Let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that my Grey Mage needs to have an HP intervention. Because all he needs to be able to do is survive a hit. And bringing the boss's damage down to a reasonable level is probably going to require an unreasonable number of turns. So the hope is that we can survive a melee swing from him, and then we can regen it back up, because he has the ability to pump up his regen to ludicrous values. So actually, for him and the Thief, I'm going to start pumping HP. Because the Thief is now in a position where he's not going to take any damage from the magic. So we want to get him... We want to get both of them to the point where they can survive a hit. If they can both survive a hit, we're pretty much set. And each point of defense that I'm putting on is basically increasing effective hit points by 4 HP, right? But it also increases my survivability by a lot more because it gives me actual mitigation. But we're looking at 12 points to increase defense at this point versus 6. So considering that this is going to be 5 times as effective for effective HP, I think I'm going to focus on effective HP for right now and just do all the HP. So that's 1 level's worth of HP. I think that might actually be enough to allow him to survive a hit from the boss when he's been debuffed. And the Grey Mage has been buffed. Hopefully. Then again, I mean, let's be honest, the boss, we already calculated that the boss is only hitting for 1,600 damage that we then mitigate from, we then mitigate with our defense. So, I don't know why I haven't been calculating this way. So we have 1,600 minus 900. So he's going to be hitting me for about 700 damage. That's his base damage. If we then factor in the... So if we factor in the 20% reduction to his damage, 20%, that's a fifth of 1,600. So that's 20 times 16, so 200... Was it 320? So we can reduce the damage by about 320 just by the debuffs. So that does get him to the point, with both of those debuffs active, that gives him to the point where he's actually surviving a hit with this amount of HP. Unless it crits. Then he's dead anyway. Unless it crits. But yeah, it's time to focus on effective HP. Because this boss is not going to be someone that I can... that I can actually out-mitigate. So the goal here, sort of by necessity, has to be just to get enough HP to survive the hit. So with that said, if I had... Yeah, I guess because if I'm focusing on just an effective HP strat, well, the problem is that then you run into the problem that you don't have enough healing. So, an effective HP strat makes sense to a point, but if you aren't allowing yourself to use consumables, because consumables you can just restore all of your resources, including your hit points, in one swing. Actually, wow, this guy would be really easy. Now I understand why people pump. I now understand why people pump their HP so much. It's because you can just use one of those bubble tonics, and then use a healing item to make yourself instantly at full HP. God, how does anyone lose a fight if they're using consumables? I'm actually tempted at some point to just like take a taste of the dark side and see what that's like. To just be like, oh, well, someone died. I guess I better revive them. And then, oh, that cost a decent bit of MP. I guess I'll just use it as a restorative and cure them. The idea of being able to just do whatever the fuck I want and never have a fail state is actually a really interesting one. Anyway. Because if you're using consumables, I just realized that I never use consumables in RPGs. And I'm just realizing now, if you actually use consumables, you almost don't have a failure state. I understand why people can do the Abyss without saving. I understand that now. It's because they can't die. There's no point where you go, oh, well, dang it, I got myself in a position that I just can't get out of. Because consumables will get you out of any situation. All those resources, and you can just stack effective HP without any concern for like healing throughput, because I think there's even like full potions that don't have an HP limit on them, aren't there? I think I found something that was called that, right? No, this is only 1,000. Okay. Yeah, and these potions actually are only healing a limited amount. That's 100 mana is not a huge amount of mana to restore. So they can't get you out of every situation. But pretty close. Just about. I'm also curious whether you can stack HP increasing effects. So at some point, I'm going to have, I guess right before I use the thing when I'm going downstairs next, I'll use that ability and see if it works. Because if that works, if you could stack the bubble ring and the bubble tonic and the knight's like adamantine coat or whatever it is, and like the white mage thing, it would be glorious. It would be glorious indeed. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go to Cure 3 just so that I don't have to open the menu. I guess I have to open the menu anyway to heal, but... Or sorry, not to heal, to save, but... Then I just have to save, I don't have to heal. So... When it comes to... comes to hit points, how much do I want to stack on Moonseal Monk? Magic defense is sort of a weirder prospect than the physical defense. Because physical defense, as long as the enemy's only hitting once, it's pretty clear cut that you're better off with HP in terms of effective hit points. But if you're getting hit by the big nuke, you're technically getting more effective HP by putting points into hit points, but only barely. And he's mostly going to get hit by the smaller nuke, but that smaller nuke is still 6 effective hit points per magic defense. The key is that the HP does also protect against physical. But the key is that it also doesn't protect against... I mean, technically you could... Oh, actually, no. Oh, no, it's... He's gonna have the bubble ring. With the bubble ring equipped... Let's see... 3%... Sorry, I should probably be killing things. If we're looking at 3%... 24 HP, that's... It takes 2 points to get an extra point of regen. But they can only nuke you once per round, right? So each point of regen is also effectively damage mitigated. It might sound like a weird way to phrase it, but each point of regen is, to a certain degree, a point of damage mitigated as long as you survive the blast and thus have the ability to regen it up. So, I mean, it's not a great way to mitigate damage by any stretch of the imagination. And it really depends on how long he has to mitigate that damage for. So, I'm almost level 43, holy shit. God, I love doing the math. Like, I can just sit here theory crafting. I'm not grinding right now. I'm actually just doing math. And I get to do math while playing the game, technically. So, that's great for me. Okay, I actually need to do something quick. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see here. I need to put some stuff in the fridge. So we need to use a Cure 3 on him because he is at one-shot range. Okay, we can now save the game. And now we can take a look at this. So it costs 6 points to raise it by 12. Costs 7 points to raise his magic defense. Right now, we can basically calculate that he's going to take about 1,000 damage if he gets hit with the AoE nuke. But we can mitigate that by increasing his magic defense in combat. So the question is, how much do we value effective hit points compared... Honestly, I think that we value effective HP very highly compared to mitigation. So I'm going to go ahead and just dump points into... Wow. Wow. Every level, he can put so many damn points into hit points now. Yeah. Who needs magic defense? Who needs it? When you've got 1,000,000 frickin' HP. Okay, so by the time I'm done here, he's probably going to have about 2,000 HP. If he's sitting on 2,000 HP... then... Oh, sorry, no. I'm an idiot. He's already sitting on over 2,200 HP. Okay, so yeah, if I do that one more time, that's an additional 800 HP that's getting added to his total. What the hell? So... Oh yeah, we are definitely going for HP for right now. Okay, so there we go. Now the problem with doing this way is that you do run into sustainability issues, right? So I have to be concerned with an HP build about, okay, well, how am I going to sustain his HP pool if he's getting hit for 1,000 damage every round? And the answer to that is going to have to be... I don't know. Honestly. We'll see. I do think that at least getting the HP there in the first place is worth more than just a few hundred damage being taken off by increasing his defense. Same for the Grey Mage. Like, I feel like if I can increase his HP by 50%, it's crazy not to. The question is how far you invest in it before you worry about other stuff. But yeah, I hadn't realized just how many points I had started to accumulate. Like, my per level point tallies are very high now. Okay, so I think one more level might do it. If I've got 3,000 max HP on the monk, he's going to be regenning almost 100 HP per round. And if I dump enough magic defense on him in the fight, I mean, he should be fine. The Grey Mage is, of course, going to have a harder time. The Knight is going to have a hard time as well. The Knight actually only has 700 base HP to play with. We're going to have to give him the rest of them during the fight. But the nice thing is that on any given turn, the boss can't really hurt my entire party. If he uses his AoE, the Thief and the Grey Mage are taking no damage at all. And if he uses a single target, he's only hitting one target. So, in terms of damage throughput, his damage throughput is actually going to be pretty low, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to keep up. Oh, speaking of keeping up with damage, the spells become even more hilarious, because his base int is actually 100, so on normal difficulty, he would actually not be able to hurt, I think, pretty much anyone in my party right now, including the monk. So the monk, who's currently taking... I've calculated him as taking like 1,000 damage from his 500 damage nuke. Would be so he's like taking 2,000 damage from the big nuke. Would be taking like 0 damage or something like that. How much defense does he have? Give me a second. He has 140 magic defense, so he'd be taking something like, I don't know, a little under 600 points of damage from the nuke that's currently hitting him for 2,000. And if I were to buff... Oh, that's without the buff. So without the buff, he would hit for... He actually gets hit much harder right now. So without the buff, he gets hit for about 600. With the buff, you then have that, and he's getting... Well, actually, do you even have it? You have it, and then you add another, like, 14 or so to the half. So it actually gets really sad really fast. So at that point, you're doing a lot less damage. I think you're getting... You're getting most of the way to 0. He would basically be regenning faster than he was taking damage if he had his current stats on normal mode. And instead he's just getting blown up. He's like, we're talking explosions. I don't know why anyone would invest in hit points in the normal difficulty. On the normal difficulty, investing in like defense is just so ludicrously powerful. It's like investing in defense in God, what's that game called? What is that game called? I don't know. Oh shit, I just attacked with the thief. Still alive. What's it called? Xenosaga. So in the first Xenosaga, you have the ability to choose how to... You can use tech points to increase your base stats up to the max... up to the level of the highest character. So you can basically increase everybody to have stats as high as the highest player. And what that means is that then whenever someone levels up, you can then continue pumping people's base stats up to the new cap. right? So then every time someone levels up, it's as if you get 5 people's stat growth's worth of stat growth in whatever stat you choose. Now, the defense stats are simultaneously cheaper than the attack stats to raise, and unbelievably powerful, because it has the same kind of mechanism that this game has. So, if you invest into your defense stat by about the quarter way mark of the game, you will never get hit for more than 1 damage ever again. If you just do that consistently, if you consistently just spend your tech points every time someone levels up, you just say, okay, everybody else, make sure that your defenses are capped. If you do that every level, your life will be joy. You will have a very joyous life. And the reason that you will have a joyous life is because of the deliciousness that is defense scaling. Linear defense scaling is just ludicrously powerful. But then, like, for whatever reason, the developers made it so that attack stats cost twice as much to increase. So it's like, in addition to the fact that defense builds will make you absolutely unkillable very, very quickly, they're also super cheap to do. So it's like, oh man, it's so great. It's like, okay, you could invest in order to kill a boss. Like, think about it like this: in order to kill a boss twice as fast, you would have to invest 4 times as much as it takes to make yourself immune to the boss's attacks. It's basically that kind of a situation. And that's what you get with linear defense scaling. The problem is that linear defense scaling, when things are scaled very high, like on legendary difficulty, becomes troublesome, because then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I need how many points of defense to overcome the offensive power of this creature? That seems like a lot. That's also why on higher difficulties in Pillars of Eternity, armor ceases to be as useful. Because it's like, okay, well, I'm mitigating 14 damage off of a 100 damage swing. Who gives a shit? So as damage values scale up, if defense values don't, then it gets harder and harder. That's also why in, it's not the exact same mechanic, but it's a related mechanic, is why if you look at, like, 2nd edition Dungeons & Dragons, or most editions of Dungeons & Dragons for that matter, attack power, or sorry, your accuracy increases as you level, but generally speaking, your armor class does not. Your armor class only increases through gear. So as you get to really, really high levels of play, because they stop giving you, like, better armor at a certain point, like armor starts getting other effects, it eventually reaches the point where, oh, well, everything is just guaranteed to hit everything else, because everything has a FACO of -20, and nothing has an armor class that's anything like what it needs to be to prevent that from hitting. So you end up with, you know, toward the beginning, it's often like, I need an 18 to hit you, you need a 20 to hit me, and you just go back and forth not being able to hit anything, because people's armor is so much better than their skill with their weapons. But then as you get to the late game, it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna stab straight through your plate armor because I'm a fucking dragon, and this is my thumb. Boom. My fingernail is bigger than your entire body. I think it can pierce your armor. So that's why in like, for instance, Baldur's Gate and stuff like that, the beginning of the game, it's super hard to hit anything, and everything is missing, and it's just a whole lot of huh, 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 huh. Hey, I hit something! And then toward the end of the game, it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to hit you 5 times in this round, and there's nothing you can do to stop it, because there's no way to get enough AC to stop it. Well, I guess via AC anyway. You could always defend yourself by being a mage and be immune to all physical damage. You know, there is that as an option. Alright, so we've got 1400 HP now. I don't know why I said that. We've got 1300 HP, but close enough. So he's going to have 2600 HP. I think that when I get a level up on the Grey Mage, I'm going to make an attempt at this boss. I don't need to steal from him. All I need to do is be able to survive about 20 rounds. So we're going to try this. I've got 610 max HP. I'm regenerating 13 MP per round, with an expected cost per round that's variable depending on who was taking damage. One thing that is very cool, actually, is it's actually extraordinarily uncommon. So we're going to start off the fight with 1000 HP. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't invest anything in HP on this character. The poor knight. Okay. We're going to save this in slot 7 as well, and we're going to change up our gear. So, Bubble Ring, I'm coming off. Experience Ring... Actually, never mind. Before we do that... I just realized that... I already walked, so... Walking with the Lure Ring is contrary to the plan of not getting killed by Jabberwockies on the next floor. It's a counterintuitive strategy. There we go. Pew, 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 pew. So, now, we save in both slots. We change up our equipment. So, Bubble Ring, coming off of you. You don't need it. Because you can already equip things to... basically, he's going to be using the ability in combat to double his HP. He doesn't need to do it now. He is going to go ahead and equip these. And he's going to swap off of the spear to a staff. I don't know how big of an impact it'll have on his throughput, but hopefully it'll be a decent amount. We're going to give him the Surge Ring. The Surge Ring will give him a massive amount of extra mana to play with. And what do we want to give to him? I'm going to give him the Repel Ring. Okay, we're going to unequip this. Give him the Ward Ring because I don't think the guy uses anything that counts as a thingamabobber, but you never know. And I think that's it for him. Healing, dragon, dragon. His weapon, preempt doesn't help him any, so his weapon doesn't matter. His weapon matters just because of the fact that we want that. We got Renewing Hat, definitely need to have that, definitely need to have that. Okay, so he's okay for now. I just realized that I think I made my assumptions based on the idea that I was actually going to be able to have him do certain things that he can't do, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. And since he has an extra point of magic defense, we're going to go to put it in. And he has an extra point that he can shove in defense if I want. Let's do that. Okay, so we're going to save this under slot 7. And I think we're set. I think we have everything we need. And this time I am in fact going to allow myself to run into a Jabberwocky and not worry about it, because I think there's only those 3 items on this floor. That's a yes. So we didn't actually run into a Jabberwocky. So this is save 7. We're going to try to do this. So we've got 2600 HP on the monk. We have 1045. I don't, English, man. So, what are we doing? We're going into a healing trance first. He's casting magic defense on him because otherwise his damage is just going to be through the roof. This guy is going to use Adamantine Vest. And this guy is going to immediately use Behind Enemy Lines. We have an Implosion on the Knight for 750 damage, which more than we'd like. Okay, we've got him regenning. We're going to go ahead and sidestep as well because that gives us the possibility of surviving a hit. For some reason, I don't have the fast heal on. So we're going to be slowly getting a heal this guy's way. And we're going to go ahead and mug... Why am I mugging him? God damn it. It's really fucking bully. Okay. So he's over 1000 HP again. And damage time. So we're going to go ahead and use another cure... No, we're not. We're going to use a healing trance because at some point he's going to take damage himself. And he's going to go ahead and cast Defender on him. And we're going to hamstring this guy, because that's what I need to do. So, 6 points of damage coming out to the Thief. Nothing that I can't handle. 660. 660, same difference. So we're going to cast Defensive Stance on the Grey Mage, because the Knight can just chill now. He's comfy defending. I'm going to go ahead and defend with the Thief. We got Defense Stance on the Grey Mage, and he's regenning, so that's great. And let's see. What do we need to do now? I'm going to cast another Cure 3 on the Knight. So he just used a Smite on the Monk and tickled him. So, let's see. What am I doing here? We're going to cast Defensive Stance on the Thief, because that Thief is actually going to be really squishy. $100 damage coming into Grey Mage, so no damage because he's healed. I'm going to reapply Magic Defense on the Monk. So he still has Defensive Stance. Defender. So he has 2 more turns of these buffs. What am I doing? He has 2 turns left of these buffs. I think I'm going to have him do that. Just in case he has to heal next turn. I'm not going to use Behind Enemy Lines quite yet. I'm going to have him guard. Devil's Breath is coming out, and my Thief is completely incapped. And that incap on the Thief is a problem, because it means that he is going to be incapable of reapplying the buffs that I want him to cast. I'm going to go ahead and recast Healing Trance. And I'm gonna guard. So. That's a problem. That's a lot of bad effects. And I do not have the ability to remove any of that shit because I didn't bother to invest in it. So Atomic Flare comes out and hits the monk within an inch of his life. So we're going to go ahead and use another Healing Trance on him. And we're going to use a Cure 3 on him as well. And we're going to cast Defender. The Thief, actually. Shit. On the plus side, Darkness and Confusion do not like each other. And it looks like my Knight is really tanky right now. Unfortunately, the Thief is dead. So that's pretty much the end of this run. But I'm pretty sure that I can beat him. I just need to... Like, I think that even, like, the smites don't do enough damage for my monk to care. So you can see that the damage output when I'm just doing the macro is very telling. Like, that gives you an idea of, like, how much damage is actually coming out to the party. I think that this is actually... I don't think he's going to kill me before I kill him. So, obviously I'm not going to accept this, I'm going to have to reload, but I'm very curious whether... God, this guy has so much HP. And it looks like he actually is going to kill me. That's it. Okay, so that's the Abyss. We're going to go ahead and reload because we let... In that case, we actually left our whole party to die. I think we actually have enough durability on the monk now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my... Whoops, this is the wrong one. Currently, my rogue doesn't have enough effective HP to survive a single hit. So, rather than fuck around here for an eternity, I figure it's very simple for me to get one more level on the rogue. And we're just going to pump HP, or sorry, not pump HP, we're going to pump damage on the monk. He's actually now well above the threshold that he needs to be at. The Grey Mage can survive, the Thief cannot. So, the Thief is in a back position, but at the same time, this is such an extremely long fight. Oh shit. This is such an extremely long fight that, see, this is why you don't use macro. Anyway, actually, I should probably just change that macro. I don't have to target any specific, whoops. I don't have to target any specific enemies with it. So, what I could do, if I wanted, is change this macro for him to be Warcry. The Knight can be attack, and for him, it's just defend. So then we just use macro 1, we automatically Warcry, and attack something. That seems like a reasonably effective macro. Just chain stun. Doesn't even matter if it's actually viable. Just do it. Alright. It's actually going to cost me... Oops, I should I'm not really going to regenerate any mana if I'm using this. Everybody's asleep, so we're just going to go ahead and attack with everybody. And then use my macro. Okay, yeah, this is way better. This is how I should have been leveling with this macro. They were all asleep. I should have used my all-out attack instead. Because doing an all-out attack doesn't require anything interesting. It just requires that you press the button a few times. It doesn't really take much time. Unfortunately, the thief has such shitty scaling that I don't actually know if I'll be able to get him enough with just one. We're also going to be getting the monk A damage level here. Oops. Macro, just do it. Boom. This is not the most subtle macro. In terms of, like, mana usage, it's pretty extreme. But, fortunately, I actually killed that thing I didn't want to. Now, I say extreme in terms of mana usage, and what I mean by that is that I'm not actually regenning mana at all. Two mana per round is not really any mana regen at all. So, especially when you factor in that I'm then going to be having to do this periodically. Though the other thing that I could do, I think I actually want to do this. I think I'm going to swap the healing helm onto the thief thing for right now. Because the knight has so much HP that what I can do is I can just equip the Diamond Helm on him for a while, equip the Healing Helm on the Thief, and the Thief will stay relatively stable with this. He's going to have way more defense. And look at that. I mean, the Knight's taking 2 damage. He does not give a crap about this damage. So what this will allow for is for the Thief to just sort of slowly regen, and thus not require as much healing, and thus life will be good. So Monk still needs to be healed periodically, but it's okay. I imagine the Thief will still require healing. He just won't require... Whoopsies, that's what I wanted. Damn it, I just wasted a bunch of mana. Wasted all the mana that I saved on the second turn. For these, they hit way too hard to allow them to just get turns. But that's 4 mana more than we had when we started the fight, so... Nice! Stunned on all. So the Thief is about to level, and the Monk is as well, so I'm going to let the Monk get his level as well. Nice. So every time I get an AoE that hits every single target, the stun can't be immediately removed, it has to wait until the next turn to get removed, which means that that's just free mana for me, right? The next turn, I'm not casting Warcry, I'm just smacking him. And there we go. Oh! I actually got so much mana stuff on him that he actually leveled up. So, perfect. We've got both of them leveled. So we're going to go ahead and... Do we want to pump his damage? I kind of feel like the amount of HP that he had last round was so high that increasing it more doesn't really help very much. This will decrease the total amount of RNG that I have to deal with for the Thief. So, because the Thief is not getting a lot of HP here. This is slow rate of return for the Thief. So with 659, he still can't survive a hit. And I consider that to be a problem. Oops. I just wasted it. It's definitely a problem to not be able to... Ouch. Alright, well, that sucked. That said, I think that if he has the defense buff active, he can survive a hit. So do we just try... You know what? Considering that I don't get anything out of any of the stuff that I've got going here, I'm going to go ahead and equip this. We're going to change into our diamond helm. Have him swap into the healing helm. And yeah, he's going to equip the shield, because I actually didn't have any difficulty keeping him alive last time. We're going to change up this skill set. Sure, why not? Because he actually has the capacity to attack occasionally. It's not a great plan, necessarily, to have him attack, because if he attacks, he's going to be getting hit in return pretty damn hard. But let's try it out. Okay, the other thing is that I did not have all my skills available to me, because I learned them on the wrong save file. So he needs Fast Cure so that he can actually heal an ally before they get their turn. And I think that's the only thing he needs, honestly. No, that's not true. He also needs Loosen. Weaken is not a great spell. Don't care about silence. I guess I could learn Life 1. I don't want to learn Life 1. Fuck that shit. Okay. Okay. So, let's take a look at his slots. Okay. He has empty slots, so he's fine. He does not need to use any of this stuff. And he's gonna get... What does that even mean? I mean, it doesn't matter. He's not gonna use either of them, but... Okay, the other thing that I need to do, he doesn't need the spear, he needs a staff, because that's going to increase his healing throughput. Okay, now, bubble, bullseye, looks right, diamond, diamond, summoners, summoners, rainbow, renewing, diamond, dragon. Mercury ring. Because reasons, attack that are increased because reasons. Okay. I want to keep his accuracy reasonable because I don't know if the thingamabobber uses it. So we're going to save in slot 7 and completely heal, and we're going to pop out. So we need to find all 3 items. And they're all found. Check this just to be sure. There's nothing there. Okay, we're set. So, saving this once again, slot 7. Let's try it out. So, first thing we're doing is healing trance. Second thing we're doing is casting magic defense on the monk. No, I'm actually casting magic defense on the knight. The knight has trash magic defense by default. And we're using behind enemy lines because it's easy to do. Okay. So, now, do I need sidestep? Sidestep is potentially valuable. It lasts the entire fight, there's really no reason not to use sidestep. We're now going to cast magic defense on him. We're gonna cast Defender. I haven't cast Defender. We're gonna guard. And we're gonna get a hamstring off it. Damn it. The sad thing is that he almost survived. He almost survived that. But that double attack was pretty painful. That actually hit him for 690, or 598 rather. Which is almost his max HP. So, magic defense on him. Mantian Vest. So we're getting behind enemy lines off. Oh right, I didn't have him debuffed yet. So he should be at least at 10% debuff for the entire fight. So it should be a little better than that. Not necessarily a lot, but it should be a little better than that. Okay, hamstrings coming out. Actually, now is not the time to cast Defender. We're gonna guard. So, hamstring is out. Okay, with the hamstring out and all of our stuff in place, we can start just... Is that magic defense? I already used sidestep, he's attacking. Okay, gotcha. Now, magic defense on the next target, it's gonna be Grey Mage. Is it? No, I'm actually gonna use a Warcry. Because that gives me a pretty decent stat boost for free. He's gonna guard. So plus 10 attack is a decent amount of extra damage coming out. We also need to use defense stance on, I think, the Thief. So magic defense is going to lower soon. I'm going to cast Defender on the Thief. Because the Thief is going to need to stop doing what he's doing, which is defending, and start reapplying his debuffs. I'm only going to reapply Hamstring. I'm going to let the other one fall. The reason that I'm letting the other one fall is because I don't think I can afford to keep both of them up for the entire fight, and I'd rather make sure that the 10% is out the entire fight, rather than try for more than that and fail. So he's casting defense stance on himself. Behind enemy lines is still active, so I apparently vastly underestimated how long that was going to last. Okay, he's using a fast cure on himself. He's guarding. And we're going to have him guard. So that's a turn with no damage output. I like that. Now we're going to go ahead and cast Magic Defense on him. He doesn't have it, right? Correct. Warcry is about to wear off as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and Warcry again. We're gonna cast Defender on El FIFO again. And he's gonna re-hamstring. Warcry's out again. Defender's out. Okay. He needs to get a healing trance active on himself. I'm concerned about him getting crit or something, but there's really not a lot I can do about that right now. Okay. So magic defense increase is coming out for the monk because he's super squishy right now. Oh shit, 2 misses. And let's see. I'm gonna cast Defense Stance on the Grey Mage again. And we're gonna hamstring. Wow. So Implosion comes out, 30 damage. We should be okay if we can keep this up. I'm gonna go ahead and do a fast cure on him. I don't know, I'm just worried about him getting hit with a physical attack. Apparently I should have been worried about somebody else getting hit with a physical attack. Okay. So he's fast curing himself. Flare comes out, doesn't really do a lot of damage. Does a decent amount to the monk, puts him in danger zone. Okay, we need to get a fast cure on the monk, because if he gets targeted, he's fucked. Okay, we need to get another fast cure. Missed. Done. Abyss cleared. Whew. Master Spelunker, achievement unlocked. And that is an Amaranthine Ring. So, do I have to unequip this stuff when I leave, or do I automatically keep it? I guess I'll just find out. So I should have all my rainbow armor and all that shit. Nope. Okay, I don't keep any of that shit, so we're gonna go ahead, turn to the title screen, and we're gonna reload. And so, before we leave, we need to strip everybody. Okay. So I got the Amaranthine Ring. We can go ahead and equip that in favor of this Ogre Ring. Boom. So, we also have the Bullseye Ring. We can go ahead and equip that instead of this. And we don't have any new gauntlets or anything, so I don't know why I thought that I was going to have anything new there. So I didn't actually properly check. So he can wear the rainbow robe. We're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to put on the renewing hat. So now he's basically a god. And let's see here. What else is he going to wear? Oh, how about the Quicksilver ring to give him 150 extra preempt. And let's see, we're going to give him, not the ward ring because that's silly, he doesn't need that. Let's see. Thaumaturgical ring, that sounds useful. Okay, so Oberon. He's gonna equip the ward ring. No, he's not. That's silly. He's gonna equip the bubble ring because he can, and because it'll pair very well with this healing helm that he's got. Do I want to give him that? No. I'm gonna give the healing helm to Veron because that'll put Veron's defense up to a very, very good level. Go ahead and give him the element ring. And rather than this bullseye ring... Oh right, the EXP ring, he gets 2 times EXP anyway. So, we've got the Amaranthine ring, which means we basically have the EXP ring. So now we have to decide who we want the EXP ring on. And I think that the EXP ring should go on whoever's going to scale the best with stats. And I feel like that's probably... I think, no, I'm going to give it to this guy because while he doesn't scale the best with stats, he needs so many different stats, I might as well give him a little bit of an advantage here. So he's going to be taking half damage from magic. He's going to be taking... He's probably going to be jammed near Immortal. They pretty much all are. Okay, so what slot is this? This is the Abyss lobby before we left, so we're going to go back to slot 4. You've killed my master, you fiend! I suppose I'm free now, but where should I go? I know nothing but this cave. For now, I will stay and mourn my master. No, I don't want to go into the Abyss again. Okay, so... we're back to the A-Team. It took a while, but we're back. So, oh wow, we move so fast on the world map because we got the fast forward thing active. Oh, I love it. Okay, so let's see. Where are we going now? We're going to do whatever it is that we're supposed to do for the quest. The main quest, I think. Seven hits for 1,000 damage each. I like it. You know what? No, we're going to the arena first. Screw this. Arena first. Arena, arena. It's time to go to the arena. I would do the hunts, but honestly, they're not going to be remotely difficult this way. I need to equip the repel ring, actually. They're not going to be difficult to do anymore, and I'd rather just wait until I get to the airship so that I can just fly to them quickly. So is that regenerating 59? No, he's regenerating both 36 and 59. Oh my god. The regen stacks. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna save the game. Go to downstairs. Okay, so Let us see what we want to do. Let's see. We're going to the arena. Okay. Zoom. I move very, very quick. Wow, this is so much nicer. Where are the, wait, what? This is the same continent. Whoops. I am a total dope, that's okay. But it is now time to go above this and then let us go west more and keep going west and then we'll get where we want to go someday. The other thing we could do if we want to try it, I don't think it'll be too difficult actually because we do have the god tier tanks. We could try the Kraken. Ajax, the only one who's ever bested this cup. Release the monsters! Let the battle begin! I need to set new macros. Ooh. Oh shit! He just got one shot! Holy crap. Well. Hello there. He's apparently not as tanky as I'd like him to be. Hey God Mode, how's it going? I just finished the Abyss. And then came back and then he died instantly because he's good at it. Dying horribly is the rogue's want in life. Okay, so we're going to change up our strat here. We're going to use a war cry. We're gonna have it. I just finished the Abyss like 2 minutes ago. If you go back just like a couple of minutes, I just finished. I was about level 40-ish while I was down there. I think I was 45 on the monk because he had a double EXP ring. But I just needed to invest in a little bit of HP to survive the hits that were coming out. Your tsunami means nothing to me. Sure, I'll show you what I've got now for the main party. I mean, I had most of it equipped already on the temporary party. Let's see. Warcry's in a weird place now. These people are so weird. Who are you people? What have you done with my random nobodies? Oh god, that is a lot of damage. Can you cast? He actually can't cast what I need him to cast. I haven't given him the spells necessary to take full advantage of the gear that he's got on. Okay, well, at least we got the stun off. Oh right, I forgot I have the Reprisal Whip now, and he's got the auto go first attack. Oh right. I'm not using these characters properly at all either. Alright, well. Congratulations to the fighters. Diamond crap. That's actually all really good. Let's see here. He doesn't need it. But he can use the diamond helm because he has rainbow armor. He doesn't need to worry about status effects anymore. And we have the diamond boots. We'll go ahead and slap those on him. Okay. Okay, so the current setup that I have is he still has his prickling cloak, because of course he does. But he's sitting on the Amaranthine Ring, which gives resistance to all elements as well as immunity to all status effects. He has 100 extra attack, defense, int, magic defense, half MP costs, double experience, and HP regen. Now, this HP regen stacks fully with his monk regen, so he actually regenerates 5% and 3%. So he regenerates a total of 8% of his max HP every single turn. I also have the Bullseye Ring, which gives him an additional 3 attacks, which is very nice. And let's see. So the next thing is we have the Preemptive Ring for him, as well as the Thaumaturgical Ring. So he has half MP costs as well. And he also has the 150 preempt, so he's almost always going to go first. In addition, we also got the Rainbow Robe, which makes you immune to all status ailments. And also gives you half damage from spells. He also has a hat that makes him recover 5% of his max MP every single turn. When combined with the Thaumaturgical Ring, which cuts the costs in half for his spells, he's basically going to be regenerating more mana than he uses in combat, just like I was in the other thing. Okay, next character. So Oberon doesn't have shit equipped on his second slot, because why would he have shit equipped on his second slot? I'm actually going to give him the Repel Ring for now. He has the Bubble Ring equipped, which gives him 100% increased max HP. Now, he doesn't have anything to heal himself with, but I didn't have anything better to put in that accessory slot, so I just slapped that in there. Now, he also has the Rainbow Armor, which gives him... By the way, the Rainbow Armor and the Rainbow other thing are basically identical. They only have their stats inversed. So this gives 150 defense and 100 magic defense. So, pretty nice. It also halves all elemental damage, as well as eliminating all status effects. So, he got that. And then we have, next person, he's sitting on a healing helm. The reason he has this is because he's super squishy, and it seems really silly to give the person who's probably immune to all damage that I'm ever going to take right now a thing that heals him. Seems silly. So this gives a whopping, what is that? 75 defense and 50 magic defense on a helm, as well as regenerating, again, 5% of your max HP per round. So, very potent helm, and that's what he's got. He also has the Experience Ring now, which doubles the experience he's going to gain. He also has a ring to have all elemental damage, which conveniently means that every single character in the party is going to take half damage from all elements all the time. So, my Sage needs to learn some spells, because he's a damn Sage. He should have some damn spells. So, we don't want Merton. We don't want that. Do we want... Cure 4 requires way too much mana, so screw that. Instead, we're going to take the same... Oh, we can't learn Fast Cure. Ha! Okay, well, that's actually really amusing, but whatever. So we've now got that. We can probably put it in a better slot. There we go. So Cure 3 is now his default thing. We can cast it for 25 points of mana. And he's going to be regenerating about... He has 280 max MP, so... How much does he regenerate every round? Math is hard. Like 14 MP per round. So you can cast it every other round for free. Okay, so that's the basic gist of what they have. And now we're prepared to fight. I don't know who's next, but whoever it is, they gonna die. So we have Spyro. We can go ahead and just kill that instantly. And we can have him guard, and have him, I don't know... guard. I don't see any reason to do anything else with him. Okay. So we took a bunch of damage on Sordrell there. Oh, right, because if he attacks, he drops their attack power by 25%. I forgot about that part. This is why this party is more powerful, is because they have these kind of cool tools at their disposal. So we now have the Jabberwockies from before, but this time we have the full power of this armed and fully operational Death Star, etc., etc. You know what I'm getting at. Okay, that guy's dead. Warcry comes out, and, of course, they attack Sordrell and kill him instantly. My life is sad. So what we're going to be doing now for Sordrell is we're going to have to actually just dump points into his HP. Because his HP value is, I mean, it's high-ish, but with his terrible defenses, he doesn't have enough HP. So we're going to be dumping points into HP for a few levels and seeing how that goes for us. Because we don't need to increase his damage. His damage is now unbelievably high. So I don't even need to do that. We're gonna... Yes, we do. There's no reason not to work right. We're gonna have him attack and have him attack. So even with a 25% reduced stats, this thing does still hit like a truck. Unfortunately, even with my preemptive ring, there's no way in hell I'm getting off an attack faster than... or getting off a heal faster than him. So we are going to kill the Jabberwocky, and we are going to go ahead and use a... Do I want to use a Warcry? Not really, no. I want to use a Cure 3 to bring Varan back up to where he's supposed to be. You can go ahead and do that, and let's see, he can pretend that he's useful by guarding. So hopefully he doesn't die. And he didn't die because he guarded. There we go. So we've got one that's got Mutilating Sword on it already. We've got Hamstring on him. I'm gonna go ahead and Warcry, because these things hit too hard for me to just willy-nilly accept the damage. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and guard, because on this team, he can instant kill, so we don't need to worry about that. We're gonna go ahead and do a Healing Steel as well. Holy Firebomb, and there we go. Okay. So we're on the final round. Let's see how it goes. So we got a Marlborough, we got a Jabberwocky. The Marlborough is not relevant because almost everyone's immune to status effects right now. So what we're going to do, we could cast Citadel, but we're going to cast Warcry. No, we're not. We're going to cast Citadel because screw RNG. And we are going to have him cower? No, we're not going to have him cower. We're going to have him attack the monstrosity. Cowering does not stack as well as dropping stats. Okay, so the Marlborough is doing its business. And we can do all the murder. Devil's Breath comes out. Nobody else can get hurt by that, so... Oh, I love it. Okay, so we got 1500 experience, and hey, we hit level 36. So we got a Summoner's Robe, Diamond Armor, a Diamond Sword. All these items look pretty familiar to us, and we got a recipe for Onyx Armor. So we can probably equip that at some point, if we so please, which we probably won't. Okay, so Diamond shit. And he doesn't need to worry about diamond shit. He doesn't need to worry about diamond shit. Do you need to worry about diamond shit? He's gonna worry about diamond shit. Okay. Yay! Diamond stuff! Do I have a diamond shield on somebody? You know what? Maybe the person who has the god tier armor doesn't need a robust shield. He's already got 461 defense. We're going to give him the robust shield again later, probably, unless we find out a better one. Okay, so, you're a truly mighty warrior. You've defeated everything the arena has to offer. Congratulations. So, the arena is over, and those fights were actually not as easy as I anticipated. They're still able to insta-give the damn rogue, so there's that. You warriors are truly amazing. Please allow me to tell you a short story. My father was a great warrior, and when he died, he divided his heirlooms between his 3 sons. As you may know, my older brother Sid runs the Hunters Guild. What you may not know is that our younger brother Cain disappeared about 10 years ago while exploring the world. Our father's prized possessions were schematics for weapons of incredible power. My father found these schematics while exploring the Asgard catacombs. He assumed the schematics must have been stored in the famed Library of Alexandria and then lost in the catacombs when Alexandria was destroyed. These schematics detail the construction of 13 weapons and armors, but require a substance that only appears in legends, adamantium. My father spent the rest of his life searching for adamantium, but to no avail. He bequeaths 5 schematics to my older brother Sid, 4 to me and my younger brother Kane. I've held mine knowing that if a warrior ever completed the highest level arena, that I would give them to him. Please accept these 4 schematics, and I truly hope that you will find the legendary metal adamantium so you can fulfill my father's wishes. So Magi Robe, Odin's Thangerbobber, Ancient Helm, all that jazz. And let's see. We can also, if we wanted here... when we need to complete the level 3 Hunter's Guild stuff. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so... Whoop, that's not what I want. Let's take a look at the map. Where do we need to go? I don't actually know where I need to go. I unlocked the Abyss. Been to the Dreadwoods before. I can't go to here until I get my airship. I've been to Abyssal. To the Great Southern Marsh. Oh, I'm supposed to probably head back to Doria and tell him that I got the thing. Okay, so we're probably just heading back to Doria. And the goal here is to get the airship because I want an airship. Airships are badass. Bum, 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 bum. I guess I could level my characters up. Okay, so he has a bunch of attack power already. We're going to start investing into keeping him alive. At some point, I might want to equip a bubble ring on him, depending on how high I can get his stats. I think I'm going to be spending the foreseeable future increasing his HP. Because honestly, his damage is pretty good. He's set. I could increase my damage more, but I don't think that the cost-benefit analysis works in my favor, considering that I need enemies to stay alive long enough for me to steal from them anyway. So we're going to pop over here. Greetings, King. Brought it to my attention that rumors of an ancient flying machine that the elves call the airship may be buried in the Alexandrian desert. The ancient hermit claims the medallion is also the key to navigating the brutal sandstorm that perpetually scours the area. With the airship, you can breach Pandora's city walls and use the ultimate crystal to initiate a devastating explosion which will destroy not only Pandora, but everything within 10 square miles. You should go see the King of Midgard as soon as possible. He has the extra men who will be able to man the airship while you are dropped inside Pandora. I cannot spare a single man from the wars in the north. This seems like a great idea. Let's just blow them up, along with anything else nearby. Sure. Okay. So, let us go. Where are we going? Ah, so we need to go to Asgard, and then continue on from there. But before we do that, let us go to the Cave of Mystics. It shall be glorious. So, we have one of the post-game bosses here. We might as well kill it. I think we should be able to... Question mark? Actually, no. One day, when you have equipped your dazing axe, you will be strong enough. Oh, you have done well to make it this far after equipping your axe. Excellent job. Okay, we're going to do this, and let's see. He needs to cast Citadel. He needs to punch it in the face. he needs to punch it in the face. And he punches it in the face before it can get an attack off, so that's good. Sleep goes out, doesn't matter. He's already done the important shit. Does this guy have anything important to steal? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Okay, Daze is going out, so he is all set. Did I have anything to do with him? Not really. Let's go cast Defensive Stance. Human Shield! This guy doesn't have anything useful to steal, does he? I'm suddenly suspicious. Give me a second. Need to make sure that I'm not killing something that I need to steal from first. He shouldn't have anything useful to steal, I don't think. What are you? What is your name? Seventh Circle Demon. Where's... Oh, I don't see it on the list. Oh, here it is. Found it. Trash! Bunch of elemental rings. Do not care. $13 damage coming into Oberon. Don't know how I'm going to survive this. Oh. Amazing, you're truly worthy of the treasure. Please accept these rewards. Element ring, which is trash, and a Genji ring, which is actually pretty good. So, hey Veron, remember that element ring you had equipped? Let's go ahead and replace that with a Genji ring. So the Genji ring prevents all status effects, including instant death. So my entire party is now completely immune to status effects. Boop. So, you've completed the trials of the Mystic's Cave. You're truly a powerful warrior. Before you go, I have something I would like to give you. Somehow, you've come by the schematics bequeathed by my brother Cecil. My name is Cain. Sid and Cecil are my older brothers. Please take my 4 schematics. I have always trusted my brother's opinion of you, and you have already proven yourself here in the Mystic Cave. I hope that you will be able to succeed where I failed. My father's dying wish was to have his son see the adamantium weapons and armor created. I spent my early life searching the world for adamantium after my father passed on. While exploring, I came upon this cave to find a very old man on the verge of death. He told me what I have told you, that you may test your strength in the trials that lie behind the gates. But he also told me that he was the caretaker for this place and that his time was not long. He explained that this place radiates an aura which extends lifespans and that someone must always be stationed here lest the gates weaken. Without a caretaker, the gates would weaken and the portals that link directly to the Well of Souls would be opened on Terra. I had no choice but to agree to take over as caretaker, and soon after I took his place, the old man passed away. My hope was that a mighty warrior would pass all the trials in the Cave of Mystics, and that I might give him the schematics that my father passed on to me. With my lengthened lifespan, I might live to see the adamantium schematics created. Grand Shield, Veneer Hat, Excalibur, Razor Whip. He is a very awesome looking boss. Indeed. I don't know how difficult that boss would have been before I went into the Abyss. It made a huge difference just when I went into do the class change. So it's hard to say. I'd obviously be substantially less tanky, but at the same time, I do really have a lot of debuffs that I can put on enemy stats, so it might not have made as big of a difference as you might think. Though it certainly sped things up. Plus 100 accuracy and attack power on a monk is more than slightly ludicrous. So, let's see here. I guess somebody... Oh, he's got the repel ring on already. Ha! What a smart guy. Also, he's still a chocobo! Yes! So we've gotten through the 2 parts of the game that I was worried were going to revoke his chocobo status. and he still made it. He's still a chocobo, so this is great. And now we can't even have status effects applied to us that might cancel the chocobo status somehow. Oh god, this is going to be interesting. I have the game on fast forward. So, delicate maneuverings. This is going to be fun. Okay. Oops. One, two, three. I'm just gonna keep going until I... Okay, I have to go really damn far. I don't have to go really damn far, but... I can go pretty far. Is it? Okay, so it's 2 up. This is gonna take a while. Oops. Was looking at the wrong thing. 2, 3. Okay, so we can go all the way. This is so time consuming. Oh. Okay, so we need to go 2 north of this, and then we can go to here. Can I go straight there? Oh, good, I can get straight to here. Good. I'm so happy. Okay. Oops. So we've made it to the first island. One below that. Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna have to... I had a suspicion that it was gonna involve, backtracking. Okay, apparently it's gonna involve backtracking considerably because the game likes to troll me. Fine, whatever. Damn it. How much backtracking do I have to do? Oh my god! I have to go so far back. No. So many tiles in the wrong direction. 3, 4, 5. No. 5, 6. 5. Is it 6? Oops. I accidentally overshot. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I think it's 6. Okay, so 6 slots this way. What was my HP? Fine. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 6 down. Okay, it's not 6 down, it's 7 down. Okay, so it's 7 down. Then right. 2, 3, 2. We're gonna be here a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Keep going down or go up? I wish it was go up, but it's not. Okay. I suspected it would be go down. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 2, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Yay! 4, 5, 4. Wrong cactus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What was it? 2? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1. Nope. Shit. Too many 1, 2s. 2, 3, 4, blah, blah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Come to me. Ha 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 ha! Got it! Woo! We made it! Life is good. Okay, so we're done with this damn place. Okay, we are out of here. So, that is one puzzle done in this location. Only an engineer can tell. I think that's where I come out if I get dragged under the sand. Oh, shit! Well, I'm a dope. But, hey, I got soft. Got a muscle relaxant. Antidote. What else do we... Ooh, more shinies. Well, I guess it's a good thing that I fell down. I meant to do that, clearly. Hey, you guys are friendly. How do you enjoy being... You know what? How do you enjoy being debuffed before you can take a turn, or dying before you can take a turn? Isn't it glorious? I love my life. Okay, so let's go ahead and... That thing's dead, so... Having the reprisal whip on a thief... It's such a game-changing thing. Especially when paired with, okay, I have a monk who's definitely going to insta-gib, and then I have a thief who's definitely going to hit the guy, well, I don't know, he could miss, but who, if he hits, will hit him with a 25% damage reduction. So even enemies that normally auto-go first, because they have so much preempt, well, they can't go first, because their preempt doesn't matter, and their attack power is just trashed. And that, by the way, is not because of any of the gear that I just found in the Abyss. That's just because of what my characters are. That's their fundamental base mechanics, once you get into the end game and you get the special abilities that they get access to. So I already went that way and got the treasure. Oh, I didn't get the treasure. God damn it. Okay, well, fine. Go back and get the treasure, because apparently I'm a noob, and I thought I got the treasure, but... I thought I got the treasure, and then I was on my way back when I fell in. But apparently I was on my way there when I fell in. Boop. It's such a trashy treasure. What the hell is this shit? I've just found a treasure that was like 2,000 something. And then I find this and it's like, oh, here, have 2,000 gold. It'll be useful for you. It'll be useful if you, the master of, I don't know, being useless, take it. I don't know, Resident Evil reference, blah 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 blah, etc. God, and I've got the freaking paralyze on the character with the preemptive ring. And that isn't part of his fundamental kit. That is something that I picked up in there, is that 150 ring. But that's not a treasure. Hey, dragon boots! I don't think I need dragon boots. I think I have for everybody. I could easily be wrong, but that's what I believe. Boom! Bombardia! There's nothing in here. Horse crab! Dragon hat! Boom! Oh, it's so satisfying, all the attacks going out. It's also satisfying seeing status effects go out that can't actually hit me. Of course, the reprisal whip is not exactly hitting hard. Okay. So I think I actually just accidentally got to the end. So, let's fight the boss. Who goes there? You may not pass. I was commanded to guard this area against intruders by my master. Well, hi. So speaking of your master... Was your master a weak, pathetic fool like you? What do you draw? What can I steal from you, rather? Who are you? Desert Guardian. So, Desert Guardian, what do you have for me? Let me see what I can steal from you, my friend, yes. A Bulwark Ring. That would be super not useful. We're done with that kind of crap. Okay, so, do we need Human Shield? I don't think so, honestly. I think we've got way too much damage. Play behind enemy lines is active. It's casting Genius, but think that's gonna help it. Hey! It did like 400 damage to him. Hey. Good job, friend. Let's go ahead and cast a Cure 3 on him, just in case. That's a wrap. Master, I'm sorry! After the defeat of the Desert Guardian, you're struck by a vision of the past. 23 years ago, huh? Small village near Pandora. Over the passing of another generation, Gabriel's obsession with immortality became increasingly warped by his repeated passage through the portal. While he continued to believe only he was passing through the cosmos, something else was indeed passing with him, and it was poisoning his mind. Gabriel began to view the mass murder of Terran life as simply a tool toward creating portals open longer and longer. He is now posing as young general in the Pandoran army. Our informants have reported that this village is home to the spies of the kingdom of Asgard. Do not be fooled by their practiced innocence. Every one of these villagers is a criminal out to bring about the destruction of Pandora. What are our orders, sir? Gather the spies from their homes and bring them to the center of the village. We will make an example of the traitors. Yes, sir. Soldiers, you heard the general. Don't try to escape, traitors. What are we accused of? Spying against the Empire of Pandora. Now move! But what could we possibly be spying on? We live in farms. Keep rounding up the villagers. Don't hurt me, I haven't done anything. I've heard it all before. Walk! Lieutenant Hannibal, keep up the good work. Start the executions in approximately 1 hour. Yes, sir. Gabriel has finally mastered the art of teleportation after 350 years of dark arts study. With so many people sacrificed, the portal should remain open for several hours. Hopefully I can learn more about this alien world on the passage through the portal. Sir, we're having a bit of trouble with a couple of villagers. Must I do everything myself? Keep walking. Ajax, help me. Arr. Soldiers, get that bastard. Restrain that man. Come with me. No! Bring that man closer. To punish your resistance, your wife will be the first to die. No! He's out cold. Should I finish him? No, I'll make more of an impression to let him live with the grief of his wife's murder. Soldiers, slaughter the rest of these traitors. Back the well souls after the massacre. Excellent. Hannibal sacrificed the souls. Hopefully I'll have time to learn more about this alien world on the passage through the portal. Strange how the portal always seems to transport me to a different region of this world. Hey buddy, nice costume. Costume? What do you mean? Well, it's a Halloween costume, isn't it? Halloween? I'm sorry, I'm not native to this area. Could you please tell me the name of this village? Very funny. Why else would you be dressed up like that? Anyway, this is a suburb of Portland. Sorry, but I have to run. Village of Portland. It's quite large and quite technologically advanced. I need to do more reconnaissance. A map would be most helpful. Excuse me, ma'am, I'm lost. Would you happen to have a map of the village of Portland? Village of Portland? I've never heard it called a village before. Sure. Just hold on one moment, I'll get my atlas. There you go. You're dressed fairly strangely. Going to a costume party? That is correct, a costume party. Thank you for this book of maps. Excellent. This appears to be a map of this alien world. Earth, it says. Thank you very much. You have been most helpful. You're very welcome. I should explore more of this. Portland. An hour later on the beach. I think we'll win against the best group costume this year. I still think we would have a better chance if we had a Grey Wizard. Perhaps, but these costumes are much better than what we had last year. This world is even more similar to the Terra than I thought. Elves, dwarves, and even orcs coexist on this world. Apparently the elves avoided extinction event that take place on Terra. It's getting late. I must return to Terra before the portal closes. Earth. Now I know the name of this parallel world to Terra. Why are they linked? Even the Vanir, in their near-infinite wisdom, didn't know who built this golden pyramid. It appears that the longer that I spend on this Earth, the longer the duration of the time reversal that is created by the portal. Based on this connection, I should stage a massive war culminating in a bloody battle that will gain me hundreds or even thousands of years in time reversal. Only with that amount of time can I possibly learn the secrets of true immortality. It appears that the portal creation is actually destroying the souls of those sacrificed. Entire villages have disappeared when I turn from Earth. There's a finite opportunity for me. I will seize it. So when he says that it is apparently destroying the souls, when he comes back, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, he's actually going... He returns earlier than he left, right? So there's this time dilation effect. So what's happening is that when he then comes back, before he killed them in the first place, they're not there. So I believe that's what he's saying. Oh, that's a tunnel, not a hole. Okay. Boom! Dragon bow. So I think that... Okay, I need to turn off fast forward. Okay, so first things first. Fast forward needs to go off. Oh, look. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, settings. Auto dash and fast forward. Ah, cool. Okay, so automatic. Oh. Ha! Well, that was unfortunate for me. Whoop. So my goal here... Oops, I didn't want to go that far. Okay. Let's save this. Okay, that sucked. The problem is that you don't have any way of knowing which direction it's going to change to until you've already been there. So for instance, this converts to an upward momentum at some point. I guess it turns to back. So let me go ahead and save this. This takes long enough that if I fall in again, I'm gonna wanna... Oh, shit. I'm gonna just reload, because... It's just gonna take way too long to get back, so it's just easier to do it this way. So, one viable strategy here is to just pretty much keep yourself as far away from the edge as possible at all times. Because for some parts you have the ability to just stay away from the edge, and for some parts you don't. So we're going to try, for the parts that we can, to just stay away from the edge. Oops, I accidentally just threw myself directly into it. Food's in the fridge. What? Ah! And this is why you do not turn away in the middle of a sandstorm. Because you will be thrown into a pit of quicksand and then be sent back to your destination. Damn asses. Okay. Let's try that 1 or 6 more times. So this still pulls me down, so I'm safe here. Oops, I'm an idiot. Let's try that again. Oh shit. Ah. My life is sad and depressing. Oh shit, damn it. I killed myself. Well, killed is a slightly strong word, but... The one of the keys is that when you're being pushed, you can't push back. You don't have the capacity to push back. So it can be very easy to input the down command once and then not have it go through because you aren't able to go down at the second that you do it. Nope, that went too far. Do I even need to go this way? Could I just go this way? I could just go this way. Makes my life easier. Save this. This is also very completely predictable momentum. I don't know why I thought for a second that it wasn't. Oops. Ran way too far there. So if you wanted, you could literally just reset, like, every motion that you do. Not have a choice here. Can I... Yeah, I can go around. Okay. We can always just go around, it looks like. This is a really, really long one. Can you imagine trying to do this whole thing? I guess I've done it. I've done all the puzzles in the game. It's just so time-consuming. Because you have to be really careful at that point. You can't, like, take any risks whatsoever. Oh, shit. Like there. Where I just... I'm glad that I'm just reloading, because doing this once was fine, but, like, this is... Oh. I thought that the wind was going the other direction, because that's where it was going when I when I ended. Okay, so... Save. Oops. Well, let's just go right and stop directly in the spot where it's going to push me into the thing. Life is sad. Okay. Nope, nope. You need to go up. Up and right, up and right. Shit. Oh shit, I went down when I needed to... I needed to let the thing just pull me down. I'm like, I'm good, I'll just do it. Whoop. Holding buttons down slightly too long is bad for you. But yeah, I believe the way that I did this when I was doing it on the other file was I legit just let the wind pull me everywhere. It was so slow. Shit. Just threw myself in. The wind was working directly against me, and I still shot myself in. There we go. Okay, so we're done. We finished this puzzle. Life is good. Did I already go down here? Yes, I did. Okay, so that puzzle's done. Once I get my airship, I'm going to end there because my wife's home. And I'm going to have myself some dinner. And it's going to be great. Oh no. Well. Oh my god. Hold the D button down. This is unacceptable. Fast forward, fast forward. We can't. Watching this game in normal speed, to me, now looks like slow motion. Alright, we are going to go to settings and... Boop. Got auto fast forward. Let me go ahead and save just in case I do something dumb. Boop. Boop. Yay! Okay, save the game. Boop, 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 boop. Oh, goddammit. What do you want? Hurricane force winds ahead. Lovely. Whatever the hell that means. What does that mean? Seriously. Ugh. What even is this type of puzzle? Okay, so fine. Settings, auto fast forward, back to hold down. Okay, so I can't go that way. save. Damn it. There was a very, very slight delay before I started moving, and that was what did it. There's just enough time to get 3 moves in, so... Whoops, shit. And I just double-clicked because I'm an idiot. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. So, that's number 3 done. Okay. Whew. So, drop down here, and that is the 3rd one, which should be, and it looks like there's not really anywhere else for me to go anyway. So we're definitely done here. All we have to do now is go collect our reward for completing this dungeon. Yay, earthquake! And we got ourselves a blimp. Yay! Blimp time! Okay, so we found ourselves an airship, which will allow us to go around and complete all the hunts, complete all of the side quests, do all the things that we want to do, including head to the Mines of Dvergar. We can do all that stuff basically whenever we want. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. It has been a pleasure to stream for you today. And next time we will probably finish up most, if not all, of the side quests and the post-game content that this game has to offer. So, later folks.